Okay, today we're going to talk about algebraic expressions, and this is the first section where we're going to learn some definitions here. These are basic definitions that you're going to need in order to do the different things that we're going to be doing in algebra, like evaluating and simplifying. So let's talk about some terms here. For the first one is variable, and a variable is just a letter that represents a number. The most common one, of course, we use is x. Y is another common one, z, but it could be any variable or any letter here could be the variable. And the next term that we're going to have is the word constant. Now constant is just a number. For example, 3 is a constant, negative 15 is a constant, 2/3, those are all constants, and that's just another word for number. And constants, of course, do not change. They have a fixed value, whereas variables can vary. Sometimes when you're solving an equation, x can be equal to 5, and sometimes x could be equal to 3. It changes. That's why it's called a variable. Okay, the next definition is very important, and that's putting these two previous definitions together, and that's the definition of a term, or terms. Terms are constants, such as 3, variables, such as x, by themselves, or the product. Remember, product means multiplication of those two. So 3x together is all one term, and constants are all put together by multiplication. So for example, negative 4xyz, that's all one term. Another one would be 2ab over 3. That's all one term. Because another way to write this would be 2/3 ab. And it's all being multiplied together. And I notice here it says terms are separated by plus and minus signs. For example, 3x minus 4y are two separate terms. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's go over one other definition here, which is coefficient. Coefficient is the number factor or the number part of a term. For example, with the term 3x, 3 is the coefficient. If I had the term negative 2yz, negative 2, of course, is the coefficient. Let's say we have negative y. The coefficient is the number in front. Well, even though it's not written here, we really have a negative 1, so the coefficient would be negative 1. Let's say we have 2ab over 3. Now remember, that's the same as just writing the 2/3 together and then the ab out to the side. So the coefficient would be 2/3 on this one. So the number in front, or the number part of the term, is the coefficient. Now, all the terms put together make up an algebraic expression. For example, the one I gave you a minute ago, 3x minus 4y, that is an algebraic expression that's put together with the operations of arithmetic. That means addition and subtraction. So right here we have two terms. So this is an algebraic expression with two terms. Let's say we have 3x squared minus 2y plus 1z. That is an algebraic expression with 1, 2, 3 terms. On that one we have 3 terms. And let's just do one more for practice. If I have 5xy over 3 minus 6, how many terms is that? Well, this is all considered one term because it's the same as 5/3 xy, and this is a term, negative 6. Don't forget to take the sign in front. So that would be an algebraic expression with two terms. Okay, let's look at an example down here. Example 1, we have this algebraic expression, 15ab minus 2c plus 7abc over 5. And the first question is, how many terms are there? Well, this is all one term, this is another term, and remember, all this is one term, because this is the same as writing 7/5 abc. So we have a total of 3 terms there. What is the coefficient of the second term? Well, the coefficient, you have a 2, but remember, you have to take the sign in front of it. So the coefficient of the second term is negative 2, because the coefficient is the number part, or the number factor of the term. The third term, the coefficient is 7/5. Remember, that's another way to write that. So we're just going to write 7/5. And then the first term, the coefficient is 15. Now I ask you about another definition right here. What are the factors of the third term? Remember, factors are what's being multiplied together. So the factors of the third term would be the 7/5 times the a times the B times the C. So the factors of the third term are 7/5 A, we're going to put commas because we're separating them. We're listing the separate factors, 7/5 A, B, and C. So those are all the factors of the third term. Now, what factors are common to the first and third terms? Well, the first term has a 15, an A, and a B, and the third term has 7/5 A, B, and C. They both have an A, B in them, so those would be the common factors, A and B. Okay, next we're going to take a look at some examples where we're going to be evaluating. Okay, on example 2 from the notes, now we have the term evaluate. Now, evaluate means to find the actual value. That means you're going to have a numerical answer. It says to evaluate or find the value when x is 5. So we're going to come down here to our algebraic expression, and we're going to put 5 everywhere we have an x. So it's going to be -5 minus 11 divided by -2. And -5 and -11 is -16 divided by -2, which is +8. So all you have to do is substitute the number in for the variable and then proceed according to order of operations. Now I have another example to look at over here on another blackboard. And this is from example 3. Now in this one we have one variable A, and we're going to substitute -2 in every time we see an A. But we have to watch this one because we have a square, we have an exponent here. So let's watch this. So we're going to have -2. Now the negative goes with the 2 because it's inside the parentheses. -2 times A, which is -2, minus 18. Okay, so everywhere where I saw the A, I put in a -2. Now, according to order of operations, I'm going to do the exponent first, and -2 times -2 is a +4. And then on the next step, I'm going to multiply. Let's bring down this 2 right here. Be careful to bring everything down the way that it was. Then I'm going to multiply. -2 times a -2 is going to give me a +4. And I'm just going to proceed left to right. 4 plus 4 is 8. And 8 minus 18, or 8 and -18, is -10. And that'll give me my final answer there. Let's see, we have -10.